Welcome everyone. Thank you for being with us today. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the College of Nursing, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this program recognizing the December 2020 graduates of the Baccalaureate, Master's, Postmaster's, and Doctoral Nursing programs at East Tennessee State University. I am Dr. Myra Carew, Associate Dean of Graduate Programs. Today's Convocation is a significant event in the College of Nursing and in the lives of these men and women who are marking their transition into professional nursing or the practice of nursing at advanced levels. Before we begin our program, we would like to recognize and thank the faculty who work tirelessly to ensure that students have the best education possible. We would also like to recognize staff who have worked so hard to assure that this ceremony is a special one and who support administration, faculty, and students every day. During the program, we will, of course, recognize and honor our graduates and introduce the speakers in the program. Graduates, we especially want to acknowledge those persons whose support and understanding have truly made it possible for each of you to complete your educational program. We encourage each graduate to take the time to thank your family and friends and show them your appreciation for all the support they have given you. Dr. Wendy Nearing, Dean of the College of Nursing, will now bring her greetings.
Good afternoon. Today we are gathered to honor the nursing class of December 2020, our baccalaureate, master's, postgraduate, and doctoral graduates. This is the 66th year of the nursing program at East Tennessee State University, and the year of the nurse and the midwife as designated by the World Health Organization. Thank you all for joining us for this afternoon celebration. This is a memorable day in the lives of each of our graduates. Today, each graduate will be recognized for their years of perseverance, faith, and growth, and we will celebrate lifelong friendships that have been formed. This event will be symbolized by the receipt of a pin, or in the case of a doctoral student, a hood. This is the time of dreams realized and new dreams formed. You are all entering a period in nursing's history in which nursing will make a bigger difference in providing quality health care to all Americans and across the world. And we have seen that in the last several months as nurses have shared their stories in the front lines of the care of people with COVID. I like to think of this time as Nurse First, a time when the entry to the healthcare system begins with a nurse. During your student years, many of you prepared for this by being student or class leaders, being active in a nursing organization, by going to Nashville or Washington, D.C. to meet our legislators, volunteering, and making new changes in your practice based on the knowledge and skills that you learned. Your efforts in the future may involve your practice to others, while for some it will mean leadership positions in agencies, organizations, and maybe even in political office. Today I welcome each of you, whether you are a graduate or the family and friends of a graduate, as we celebrate this milestone in your life and the beginning of a new chapter. Know that I speak for each of your faculty and staff in saying that we are all so very proud of you. You are an ETSU nurse, and your legacy as a nurse has either begun or has continued here at ETSU. Before I introduce you to our speakers, I would like to mention 3 retirements. First, Dr. Patty Van Hook, professor, who was recently, for the time I've been here, our Associate Dean for Practice and Community Partnerships. She will be your keynote speaker this afternoon and will be retiring at the end of this month. Her legacy will always be known in our college for her many accomplishments. Franny Miller and Linda Raines from the Office of Student Services will also be retiring December 31st. And after almost 12 years, I will also step down as Dean on December 31st and return to faculty. It has been an honor to serve as your Dean for these many years. Now I would like to introduce the speakers for today's celebration. You've already met Dr. Myra Carew, Associate Dean for Graduate Programs, and the Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Next is Dr. Brian Nolan, the President of ETSU. Following him is Dr. Wilsey Bishop, Senior Vice President for Academics and Interim Provost. Next is Dr. Sharon McGee, Dean for Graduate Studies. Following her is our keynote address, Patty Van Hook. The undergraduate responder is Abigail Harrison, and the graduate responder is Linda Simpson. I would now like to invite Dr. Nolan to give his congratulatory remarks, followed by Dr. Bishop and Dr. McGee, and then our keynote address.
On behalf of our Board of Trustees, I would like to convey my sincere congratulations and appreciation to you, the members of the graduating class of 2020 from ETSU College of Nursing. During your time at ETSU, you've had the opportunity to learn about the impact that you, as healthcare providers, can have on our region, our state, and on the nation. You've had the opportunity to learn from some of the most outstanding faculty in the world, the chance to build relationships with colleagues across the campus, but most importantly, the opportunity to find your passion, a passion to give back, a passion to be a part of the healthcare enterprise, but most importantly, a passion to make a difference in the lives of the people of our region. In the months to come, as you transition into your professional settings or on to graduate school, the skills that you've learned here will be put to test. But please keep that passion for families, caring, empathy, the values that are part of this university with you. While COVID-19 has thrown a great deal at this university, what it has allowed is the opportunity for our healthcare leaders to step forward and lead. You will be on the front lines of care, and I thank you for the care that you'll provide to families all across this region. I hope that you and your families have a happy holidays. Congratulations again to each of you. Godspeed and go Bucks.
I bring greetings and congratulations to you today as ETSU's Senior Vice President for Academics. But I am also a nurse, and I remember clearly my pinning ceremony and graduation over 50 years ago. So I know this is a special time for you and your families, and I am pleased to be part of the celebration that recognizes the culmination of a journey to achieve your career dreams. Christopher Reeve, perhaps better known to you as Superman, once reflected that so many of our dreams at first seem impossible. Then they seem improbable. And then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. Graduates, your dreams are now inevitable. As you move forward in your career, I would encourage you to continue to study and grow in your profession. Continue your quest for excellence and always represent yourself in a professional and ethical manner. You are an important member of the healthcare team, and teamwork has never been more important than it is now in this time of the COVID epidemic. The team-based skills that you have learned will help you support every patient, family, and community in ways that will allow you to better understand and serve those entrusted to your care. I hope your professionalism and caring concern will always reflect positively on ETSU and the outstanding education you received here. Class of 2020, I'm proud of you and your accomplishments. You have my congratulations and my very best wishes.
Congratulations to all of the nursing students. Completing your undergraduate or graduate degree is an accomplishment, and I know that you and your family are very proud. You know, the last 9 months have really shown us the value of our healthcare professionals, particularly our nurses. We've been calling you heroes, and rightly so. But when this pandemic ends, and it will end, you're still going to be heroes. And I personally admire the choice that you have made for your profession. In the past year, I've had the experience of seeing nurses at work and doing what they do every day. Whether that be inserting an IV into a scared 15-year-old waiting for surgery and doing it so quickly he doesn't even know it's happened, or helping my 80-year-old mother use FaceTime so she can converse with her family while she's in the hospital, or the home health care nurses who are helping care for my aunt, or the hospice nurse who helped our neighbor's family as he made the transition from this life to the next. And so our nurses are so important every day. We value you, and we look forward to all the great care that you're going to provide our citizens in the future. What you've learned at ETSU has set you up to do that. I want to encourage you as you graduate to continue lifelong learning. Certainly you'll have to do that in your profession, but I encourage you to also do things like read a book, learn about other people and other cultures, continue exploring the unknown. And one day, if it's time for you to come back and get a graduate degree in nursing, we'll be here for you at ETSU, and we look forward to welcoming you back. In the meantime, I'm going to wear my mask and keep you all safe. Congratulations and go Bucks!
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Patty Van Hook. I'm professor at the East Tennessee State University College of Nursing. I appreciate the opportunity that Dr. Nearing and the College of Nursing is providing me to address the December 2020 nursing graduates. Congratulations to you and your family for the culmination of this remarkable journey. Welcome to the profession of nursing. You are entering this profession at an exciting and critical time. Why would I call it exciting? The pandemic will be written in history, and the role of the nurse will undoubtedly be noted. You are making history. The nursing care that you deliver, the innovations that you create, and the leadership that you provide to your agency's community and profession show the depth and breadth of your academic preparation. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, 1859. This opening to The Tale of Two Cities is pertinent to today's time and nearly 200 years later. 2020 has been an unprecedented time with changes that none of us ever experienced. During this time, you have demonstrated the essential nursing skills of resilience, stamina, innovation, and most of all, patience. These characteristics are key qualities to being a nurse. You are stepping away from the classroom, the simulation lab, clinical facilities to begin your journey as a BSN or advanced practice nurse. The world really needs you now. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Lao Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher and founder of Taoism. This saying has traveled with me across my career for over 45 years. It's provided me with a sense of direction and support when I needed it most. This first step into the profession of nursing, or your new role as advanced practice nurse, is different than anything that nurses have experienced since the pandemic of 1918. As a reminder, the Spanish flu, also known as the 1918 pandemic flu, was an unusually deadly influenza pandemic caused by the same H1N1 influenza virus A. It lasted from February of 1918 to April of 1920. It infected nearly 50 million people, about a third of the world's population at that time, in 4 successive waves. The death toll was typically estimated in a broad range between 17 million to 100 million, making it one of the deadliest pandemics in human history. The coronavirus, as of December 1st, 2020, over 50 million known cases and 1.25 million deaths have occurred. I can't help but wonder what these numbers will look like in 2022. The battlefield for nurses is a daily struggle. The American Nurses Association webpage opens with this statement: 21st century nursing is the glue that holds the patient's healthcare journey together. Across the entire patient experience, and whenever there is someone in need of care, nurses work tirelessly to identify and protect the needs of the individual. This opening statement is so timely during the pandemic. Nurses are caring for the sickest of the sick in the acute care setting. They are tirelessly advocating not only for the patient and the patient family, but also for themselves to assure they're getting the equipment they need to care for the sick and support for their own compassion fatigue. Daily, we are reminded of the intensive nursing care for the COVID patients as nurses tell their stories on the local, regional, national level in print, televised, and social media. These nurses are communicating to the public the intense need to follow the prescribed safety guidelines. They are also not afraid to share the personal and emotional impact of their nursing practice during this pandemic. They have become the voice of reason in the promotion of community and public health. This advocacy has led to innovation across disciplines, including changing the historical way of, quote, doing business of all as we have always done it. You've demonstrated the interpersonal skills and stamina, critical thinking, and most of all, again, resilience to be a nurse. You will continue to develop these skills throughout your career, and they will be tested over and over. It is an essential part of your development as a nurse. So on a lighter note, I have a list of things of what the coronavirus has taught us. We can live with our families 24/7 and not go crazy. We have discovered that we don't need to go to theme parks just to get outside. We can conduct business virtually and no one knows that we are in our pajama pants. Our grocery bills have increased because we're learning to cook. We hoard toilet paper. I still don't get this, but yep, we have our stash because it seems to be the thing to do. We have traffic direction in stores with one-way signs and do not enter signs posted on the aisles. Of note, some people do not follow those directions. I've been tempted to follow them and get their license plate number, so I'll be sure not to be behind them when they are driving home or driving anywhere. I'm just saying. We can get restaurant meals delivered to our home. In the past, we had to eat in or pick up. What a great idea for someone to bring me a prepared meal. We can get our shopping done online, which is not new, but now we can get groceries online and we can have folks to deliver those to our home. That is not necessarily the postal carrier, FedEx, or UPS. We can juggle our job and teach our kids at the same time. God bless their teachers. We can get first-run movies at home now, much cheaper than going to the theater. Not sure we can make the same popcorn, but I can watch the movies in my PJs. Social distancing is a good thing, both for married and unmarried couples. I'll leave that to your interpretation. Family meals can be held virtually, and there's less kitchen cleanup. We see virtually or talk with our distant family more now than we have in the past. I will never look at a refrigerator tractor trailer again. Telehealth was first invented in 1953. It took a pandemic for us to understand that we can provide healthcare to patients using this technology. We've learned that med-surg nurses make great critical care nurses as we transition from medical surgical beds into multifunctional patient care units with critical care being delivered outside of the ICU. While patient families may not be able to be with them at their dying moment, nurses started using technology to connect families and provide support. There's been many a time in my career that family did not get that opportunity. How I wish the technology would have been available then. On a lighter note, nurses have learned how to decorate their face shields to mimic their makeup. We've learned to make face masks. Now we can purchase those face masks to match anything we're wearing, our favorite sport team, our dog, our cat, or even how we're feeling. The vulnerability of nurses' emotional attachments to the patients is being represented in the national media. This has been a long time coming. We've developed different methods of teaching, and that is demonstrating greater effectiveness than our traditional process. We are a more kinder and compassionate community. In this International Year of the Nurse and Midwife, honoring the 200th year of the birth of Florence Nightingale, you are celebrated. The World Health Organization notes that the world needs 9 million more nurses and midwives by 2030 to achieve universal health coverage. That's less than 10 years. While nursing school enrollments have increased during the pandemic, many of us are retiring. Will there be enough nurses to meet the demand? Time will tell. So where will your journey lead? There are so many different avenues for you as a nursing to use your expertise, such as teletechnology, healthcare technology, redesign of healthcare delivery work environment, innovations in model of patient care delivery, community and public health are among just a few opportunities that you have as a nurse. Your expertise as a nurse is a valuable commodity. Do not forget that. I encourage you not to limit yourself. I ask you to be intentional about your professional development and growth. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years and 7 to 10 years? Write it down, revisit it annually. This vision will help you shape your career, not just a job. I'll leave you with this quote from Florence Nightingale. So never lose an opportunity of urging a practical beginning, however small. For it is wonderful how often in such matters the mustard seed germinates and roots itself. Florence Nightingale, Notes on Nursing, 1859. I wish you well in your career and congratulations.
Each graduate has achieved much and deserves recognition. Today, we especially want to recognize those students who have distinguished themselves through outstanding service and academic performance. The names of these students are marked with special symbols in the program, denoting their service and academic achievement. First, I would like to present to you those students participating in honors programs. When they enter the nursing major, some of our students are selected for participation in the College of Nursing Honors in Discipline, Midway Honors Scholar, and University Honors Scholar programs. Working closely with faculty, honors students complete mentorship courses and senior theses. Other students have distinguished themselves through exemplary academic achievement. A number of our baccalaureate and graduate students have been selected for membership in the Epsilon Sigma at-large chapter of Sigma Theta Tau, the International Honor Society of Nursing, in recognition of their scholarship, leadership, and commitment to nursing. Student leaders are elected by their peers and act as a liaison between students, faculty, and administrators, carry out student advisory council activities, and promote a professional and caring culture within the college. These students give endless hours of service during their tenure. Members of the National Student Nurses Association, also known as SNA, support the mission of the association, which is to mentor the professional development of future registered nurses and facilitate their entrance and career guidance. We would also like to recognize the leadership of SNA. Dr. Nearing will now give her charge to the December 2020 class, followed by responses from Abigail Harrison for the undergraduate class and Linda Simpson for the graduate class.
Remember when you answered the question, why I want to be a nurse? Think back and remember that. Somewhere in your answer, you said you wanted to care for others, that you would give of yourself to help others reach their optimal health and/or life. Now, as you graduate, you can recount your clinical experiences with people with different illnesses, treatment protocols, social determinants of health, and outcomes. Or you conducted research in which you interacted with people in different ways to answer your research questions, but discovered new perspectives about how these participants viewed their world. In each of these times, you gave of yourself. You gave grace. Jan Meese in 2020 said that grace is real when it is given without the expectation of something in return. Sometimes grace is given when it is undeserved. Each time grace is given, the reward is magnified. My charge to you today is to practice each day with grace. Be a person that not only is graceful in life's moments of upset, but in addition, be the person who shows others what true grace is all about when they least deserve it. Dawn Kling outlined 9 ways that we can give grace to others. The first is through your words. Speak in a gentle and kind way, the way that you would want others to speak to you. The second way you can give grace is to consciously look for opportunities in which you can extend kindness and grace. Over the course of this pandemic, I have sent deans updates for faculty and staff, providing information as I received it, or simply asking questions that direct our thoughts to the positive. A few weeks ago, I asked them to identify what was the greatest gift of kindness they had received during this pandemic. I received several answers. One was from a person who canned and did not have enough lids to do the canning that was needed for her produce from the garden. A woman on a website that she frequented said that she had extras that she would send. Our staff member sent the check, and the woman never cashed it. Another staff talked about seeing a story where the Boy Scouts placed flags on the graves of veterans. She was touched, thinking that someone had placed a flag on her parents' graves. A final faculty talked about having someone pay for their food in a fast food lane, and then she did the same thing to the person behind her. The third way is to let it go. In this case, to let go of the anger, fear, sadness, or other negative feelings and move forward. The fourth way is just to be there. Many times in your life, whether with a loved one, a friend, or a patient, you only need to be present to give grace. You may be happy with them or sad, but your presence tells the full story. We have seen and heard this so many times in the past months, when a nurse is the person in the room holding the hand while a person dies of COVID. The fifth way is to forgive. The sixth way is for the courage to ask someone for forgiveness, to say, "I'm sorry." The seventh way is to consciously be mindful of the way you speak. The eighth way is to show gratitude. Recognize what others do and say, "Thank you," often. Many people start each day or end their day with 3 things they were grateful for that day. Finally, the ninth way is to be interested in others. We have so much in common with each other, but we are also unique, and we can learn much if we just stop and listen. There's another way that we give grace, and that is to ourselves. How many times have you beat yourself up because you felt bad or sad? Your heart was heavy, you cheated on your diet, you forgot something, or didn't do as well as you wanted on a test or paper. You are human and need to give yourself grace. Sometimes you need to quiet your mind and just be. Grace can heal, as Holly Girth wrote. Grace is more powerful than condemnation. Kindness is stronger than cruelty. Mercy is mightier than judgment. Love is braver than fear. You have accomplished something wonderful in obtaining the degree you will achieve in the coming days. You will have many memories from your time here to remember ETSU, your faculty, classmates, and everything and person that you touched. In closing, I hope that through email or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any other means that you continue to share your story with us. As an alumnus, you are part of our story of the College of Nursing forever. You are now part of our legacy that will continue on into the future. And as always, I would like to end with a quote from an unknown person that has meant a lot to me. To the world, you are one person, but to one person, you're their world.
ETSU administrators, Dean of Nursing, nursing professors and faculty, fellow nursing students, and guests. Welcome to the ETSU College of Nursing Class of 2020 pinning ceremony. First, I would like to say that it is my honor to be speaking with you on behalf of our nursing class today. When I was asked to speak about grace in nursing, I thought to myself, that should be no problem. After studying and learning about the brain, lungs, kidneys, the heart, and other organs of the body, surely I could handle the simple 5-letter word. But as I began to put my thoughts together, I realized how overlooked one of the most important words in our language is. How often do you think about grace? Can you define it? Merriam-Webster defines grace as a disposition to, or an act, or an instance of kindness, courtesy, or clemency. In nursing, this is vitally important as we encounter others in their most challenging moments of vulnerability regarding life and health. Their expectation is, do something to help me, and our expectation of self is to be that someone who will step forward with unflappable resolve to make sure and meet their needs. Why else will we torture ourselves with innumerable hours of studying for exams, hundreds of hours of clinical, endless procedures and protocols, and limitless ethical dilemmas, while also doing countless head-to-toe assessments, care plans, and clinical paperwork just to get barely enough sleep to wake up and do it all again. My belief is that is the inherent good that we possess, and the desire to help others in their greatest time of need. This is done selflessly. As we journey forward in our careers, we will soon find that how we say things, how we carry ourselves, and the kindness that we show toward others will be what is long remembered as a part of someone's healthcare experience. Many will remember how you treated them or treated their family more so than they're going to remember how you placed that IV. I'm sure many of you can quickly relate and pull examples of this in your own healthcare experiences. More often than not, we will be judged not only by our competence, but also by our compassion. And I believe as a class, we have been led by example. The grace that has been shown to us during this very difficult time of our lives by our faculty has served as an example of how grace can and should be given freely towards others. Grace is a choice. The nursing school experience has opened our eyes to the difference that can be made when one exhibits grace and kindness. The benevolence that our families, our friends, our coworkers, and our faculty have displayed towards this class have left an indelible mark on our learning experience that will never be forgotten. I believe that this will encourage each individual in this class to model that same kindness as we enter both our professional and personal lives. Today, I challenge you to lead not only a career of grace, but a life of grace. We will be charged to care for those whose backgrounds, beliefs, circumstances, and educational level may differ from our own. The choices that others make in life may not be congruent with our expectations. However, grace in nursing tells us and reminds us that we will care for them nevertheless. This pandemic has illustrated the essential nature of healthcare in the lives of all people. As we navigate a world of quarantine patients that require limited access for them to the outside world, let us not forget our humanity and never become jaded to others' life experiences. Don Clinch states that there are 9 ways to extend grace, and in my opinion, the 4th is the most important, especially during the current events that we're living in. That 4th way is to be there. Sometimes being present is the simplest way to show grace toward others. As I conclude, I want to encourage you to know who you are and be who you are. Whether you were working as a school nurse or a nurse in the ICU, the prestige of the name of the job that you choose does not define you, but the character of your service to others does. You have chosen to give of yourself so that hopefully others' loads are a little lighter, so that their health is a little better, and so that hopefully their life is a little bit longer and more fulfilled. An important quote that I believe we will find especially relevant is from an unknown person that states, "Forgive yourself. You are not perfect. Show yourself grace. You are still learning. Show yourself patience. You are on a journey. Do not forget as you walk away after giving your best effort in the most challenging of circumstances that it was grace that brought you safe thus far, and it is grace that will lead you home."
Thank you, Dr. Carew, for the distinct honor of representing my fellow graduates to respond to the charge by Dean Naring about the gift of grace. I want to start by defining the term grace. I found numerous definitions of grace in the dictionary. One definition of grace is simple elegance or refinement of movement. Another definition is a disposition to kindness and compassion, and yet another is courteous goodwill. In the Christian faith, grace refers to the free and unmerited favor of God, and whether you follow Christian beliefs or not, this definition has some value in what we are talking about today. The origin of the word grace comes from the Latin word gratia, which means thankful. The Greek word for grace in the New Testament is charis, which has a deeply embedded connotation of gift that is translated to mean kindness, grace, and life. Some synonyms of grace include blessing, courtesy, respect, favor, approval, acceptance, esteem, respect, and goodwill. The professor in me always prompts me to go a step further for clarity. Let me share with you my personal definition of grace, G-R-A-C-E. G stands for giving away something that is undeserved. Grace is a gift. It cannot be earned. Once offered, the recipient can either choose to accept or reject the grace given to them. R stands for redemptive love. When others are rude or unkind, maintaining a calm spirit and responding with undeserved love is essential. However, grace does not mean excusing or ignoring fault, failure, or bad behavior. It just requires us to look at the recipient with compassion. Remember, we can't change people, we can only love them. A stands for accepting people unconditionally. We are to be kind and gracious to all people. Even the Bible teaches us to love our enemies. Be careful how you express yourself and remember that once words have been spoken, they have consequences. Once words are spoken, they can never be unspoken. Proverbs 15:1 states, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." C stands for creating a safe place for people who are weak or hurting. I think that we can all agree that we are living in unprecedented times where uncertainty and disparity coincide more than ever before. Fear, anxiety, separation, isolation, abuse, poverty, and unexpected homelessness during this past year have created the chaos and difficulty we are currently experiencing at this time. Sometimes being present is all that is needed to show someone they are loved. E stands for extending forgiveness and seeking peace and reconciliation, whether it was deserved or not. Be quick to apologize when you make a mistake or wrong someone else, and when someone asks for forgiveness, do so graciously. Now I want to share a personal story about giving grace. A few years ago, while browsing in a gift shop, I saw this plaque that says, "Give Grace." As I walked around the gift shop, I felt a tug on my heart to purchase the plaque and put it on my desk in my office to remind me to extend grace to my students without casting judgment. Grace is essential. Grace is powerful. Grace is a true gift from God, and when we choose to accept and operate out of God's grace in our lives, it changes everything. God's grace transcends our perception of reality, shines through us when we are weak, helps us see God's good nature fully, and shows us how to respond to other people in our lives. Someone has written that the word grace is probably the greatest word in the scriptures, even greater than love, because grace is love in action. In closing, I would like to leave you with this quote: "Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind, always." My challenge for you today is the same challenge found in 1 Peter 4:10. Use whatever gift you have received to serve others.
And now, the moment the graduates have been waiting for. The diploma you receive from the university symbolizes your academic achievement and is a declaration that you have met the educational criteria set forth by your profession and the university. This afternoon, the pin you receive symbolizes your loyalty to and pride in your College of Nursing. Our candidates for the doctoral degree will also be honored and will receive their doctoral hoods. We have several groups of graduates and only one set of hands that can place the pin physically on you, but know that all of your faculty are placing their many wishes for happiness and success along with the symbol. And now, Dr. Peru will present the graduates.
Graduates, please ask your significant other to place your stole around your neck as your name is called. Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Lindsay Nicole Altman. Gazelle Ansari. Terry Lewis Armstrong, Jr. Lakin F. Ashley. Hannah Lee Auchterloni. Marilyn Jenny Bailey. Charlie Ann Baer. Darian Gail Barger. Sarah L. Barker. Olivia K. Barnes. Colton David Walker Birchfield. Gavin Chase Bishop. Ashlyn Marie Black. Diane Hausman Blankenship, Jordan Nicole Bledsoe, Randy Lynn Bledsoe Weatherford, Emery Page Boone, Jessica Renee Bradley, Catherine E. Branham, Heather Danielle Brooks, Teresa Shireen Brooks, Lauren Elizabeth Burkett, Kenyetta Levon Burney, Allie Page Cameron, Haley Noel Capps, Alexandra Grace Carroll, Kaylin Carter, Zoe Erika Chan, Haley Ashton Charlton, Kayla Nicole Chupp, Rachel Amarette Claremont, Cassidy Aaron Clinton, Grayson Thomas Coldwell, Juanita Sharon Cheyenne Collins, Megan Conley, Lisa F. Copeland, Emily Kate Costner, Sydney Lynette Cox, Lacey Brooke Crabtree, Kimberly Danielle, Mary Ashley Darrow, Cara Kathleen Davidson, Mackenzie B. Davis, Abigail Faith Dawson, Kaylee E. Dingus, Shaylee S. Douglas, Jacqueline Louise Driver, Victoria Duffy, Patrick Seth Duncan, Tiana L. Duncan, Courtney Brooke Estep, Ronald Dwight Edwards, Kola Mikkel Ellis Uwafu, Ashley Elizabeth Ellswick, Nicole Esslinger, Regina Antoinette Evans Truss, Akudu Izekwu, Tara Ray Lynn Faulkner, Sarah Elizabeth Finkel, Laura Nicole Fitzgerald, Sabrina Lynn Fleming, Andrew Thomas Flint, Hayden Alexandra Ford, Logan Todd Fox, Cherish DeLove Franklin, Lauren Marie Franklin, Kate Marie Gailey, Adrian Levon Gardenhire, Allie Yates Gardner, Victoria K. Garland, Savannah Kathleen Gentry, Maureen Elizabeth Gibson, Haley Brooke Godsey, Christina Clarissa Gray, Tessa Maud Green, Jordan Cheyenne Grindstaff, Jessica Guess, Amanda Brooke Gwynn, Patrick Ryan Haddock, Sarah Kryn Hampton, Raina Timberly Hannon, Sierra Paige Hanson, Madison Ann Harbarth, Sarah Suzanne Hardin, Abigail Geneva Harrison, Stacy Lynn Hart, Lauren Alexandra Harvey, Taylor Nicole Hayes, Emily Nash Hensley, Josie E. Henson, Morgan Faith Henson, Madison Mackenzie Herbert, Luke Evan Hicks, Corinne Victoria Hill, Holly Hughes Honeycutt, Christy A. Housley, Ashley Eugenia Hummel, Katie Jane Hurt, Lori Ingabier, Andrea L. Jackson, Danette Jackson, Emily Brooke Jackson, Erica T. Jarrett, Imani LaRae Jenkins, Laura Elizabeth Johnson, Sonia L. Johnson, Carlisha Jones, Taylor Lynn Kelly, Madison Nicole Kenton, Leah Cullen Kidd, Nicholas Bradley Killen, Megan R. Kincaid, Anna Catherine Jean Kuchera, Jennifer Jewel Kuntz, Parker Elise Laster, Ashton K. Lawson, Caitlin Brooke Lay, Virginia Caroline Lehman, Charity Grace Lester, Morgan Amber Llewellyn, Alexis Nicole Lips, Allison Brooke Littleton, Hannah Marie Lockhart, Autumn L. Loggins, Salud Cortez Lopez, Alyssa Claire Lovelace, Caitlin Carol Lovelace, Fatimatu Lee, Courtney Rose Lyon, Tira Cameron Merrick, Katie Marlowe, Kayla Maeve Massey, Donna Romero Mathis, Kaylee M. Monty, Melissa Yvonne McCormick, Christy Ricketta McRoby, Ashley Amber McIntosh, Michaela Devon Minga, Casey Renee Moore, Elizabeth Mulet, Yeraldin Munoz, Jody Capps Neal, Amber Brooke Norman, Rivers Strickland Normant, Haley Oden, Marianne Onyedikachi Ofagbu, Caitlin Page Parnell, Savannah Inez Parsons, Donasha Antoinette Patrick,
Kennedy K. Peltier,
Bobby Jean Pendleton, Amber Brooke Pickle, Andrea Brooke Pinkston, Ross Alexander Pixley, Skylar Pollock, Claire Marie Porter, Adam S. Potter, Heather Danielle Potts, Madison Shipley Powers, Taylor I. Powers, Monica Lynn Prater, Elizabeth Ann Quintero, James B. Riggs, Amber Rigsby, Lindsay Rourke, Morgan Elizabeth Marie Rochelle,
Aziel de Jesus Rodriguez Roman,
Kelly Rooney, Jennifer Leanne Rowe, Mary Magdalene Ruff, Kayla Michelle Sadler, Mary Shelby Sanderson, Machia Irene Scott, Nathan Samuel Shelton, Caitlin Emily Schall, Jackson Lee Slater, Abigail Lee Smith, Christian Amasia Smith, Kyla Marie Smith, Emily Hyder Stanley, Lisa Diane Stevens, Peyton Hunter Stevens, Jessica Renee Stipes, Brianna Lee Nicole Stiles, Andrew Brian Taylor, Michael Richard Taylor, Leslie Tybalt, Kimberly D. Terrett, Chandra Dale Thompson, Justin Lee Thrasher, Kayla Teague, Caitlin Elizabeth Tittle, Mariela Torres, Kelly T. Treadway, Mackenzie Grace Turner, Jaden Camille Underwood, Jennifer Lynn Valdez, Sheila Nicole Vaughn, Ashley Shea Wallace, Heather Watkins, Christy Marie Watterson, Brooke Sierra Whitehead, Reagan Leanne Whitmore, Michaela Christine Willard, Katie A. Willis, Essie J. Wilson, Amanda Louise Worley, Hannah Faith Wright, Hannah Wright, Radir Yassin, Tani Louise Yell, Emily Brooke Yao, Zilong Zhao. Now the Master of Science in Nursing graduates. Tiffany Daniel Abel, Alexander Keith Anderson, Amy Bean, Megan Lynn Boatman, Kimberly Nicole Boone, Mariah Whitney Bowman, Sasha Aaron Bravo, Karen Judith Castellan, John Lawrence DeMatteis, Bethel Sebsib Dufin, Amanda Lee Eggers, Miranda Nicole Elliott, Tiffany Marlene Estep, Jordan Danielle Evans, Jennifer Lynn Gary, Teresa Rose George, Jedediah Allen Gilliam, Caitlin Grant, Joy Nicole Gray, Megan Jo Griffith, Brooke Lorraine Hamby, Ashley Michelle Herod, Carrie Lynn Hasty Witt, Kelly Stevens Henderson, Sarah Elizabeth Johnson, Nancy Ann LaGuardia, Devin Bree Langley, Leah Leeper, Lisa Marie Grace Levasseur, Laura Long, Ashley Beck Makia, Jordan Alexis McCarthy, Crystal Amber Dawn McCullough, Stephen Morgan, Babajid Oganyambo, Maria Pia Penoso, Lois M. Pittman, John Pound, Melanie Browning Preston, Julia Holly Sale, Brittany Nicole San Miguel, Carissa Ann Shepard, Ashley Brooke Thetford, Daryl Young, Harold Wayne Young. Postmasters of Science in Nursing graduates. Becky Renee Arnold, Melanie A. Bradford, Leslie Reed Brittenmoser, Kimberly Darnell Patterson, Marcia Sue Sanderson. Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing. Andrea Sykes Pointer, Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing. Her dissertation title, The Lived Experience of Obesity, Spirituality, and Health Behaviors in African American Women. Chair, Dr. Flo Weyerbach. Linda Catherine Simpson, Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing. Her dissertation title, Undergraduate Nursing Students' Learning Style Preferences and Preferred Faculty Teaching Methods compared to the actual methods used by faculty. Chair, Dr. Lisa Haddad. Graduates, this is a time filled with opportunities for nurses. Nursing is the nation's largest healthcare profession. with more than 3.1 million registered nurses nationwide. However, the need for nurses remains great for all practice levels, for care providers, nurse educators, nurse researchers, nurse administrators, and nurse leaders. It is projected that in the United States, over 1 million new nurses will be needed by 2022 to meet the healthcare needs of a growing and aging population. Nursing has consistently been voted the most trusted of the professions, with Americans identifying nurses as the most honest and having the highest ethical standards of all professionals. That's a lot to live up to, but we know we can count on you to be part of continuing the trend into the future. Quality care depends on the best and the brightest to make it real. As you join the millions of professional nurses practicing at all levels, let your voices be heard for quality, efficiency, effectiveness, safety, and improved health outcomes. We also ask that you keep in touch. Let us know about the exciting things you do, your professional accomplishments, steps you take for advancing your career and profession. Take an active part in your alumni organization. And remember, help support those new graduate nurses who come behind you. Again, congratulations. Our very best wishes to you and your families. Thank you, and good afternoon.